Alright, Lantis, so today, continuing on the showcases of the new end of year characters. Earlier today, we did check out Yuha, honestly, one of the best characters of the year in the year 2023. Check out that showcase if you haven't already seen it. Today, we're here to showcase the main character of the game, Ichigo Kurosaki. Once more, another true Shikai version. In this case, actually the third version. But even though it is our third true Shikai Ichigo, he does differentiate himself compared to the other ones and makes for a really fun and powerful character. Now, keep in mind that for the purpose of this showcase, I do have a max transcended Ichigo, so my Sobum will be hitting a tad bit harder compared to your potential 1-5 Ichigo. But when it comes to strong attack damage, he is essentially performing like a 1-5 character, since he will only be having 500 SP invested into him when it comes to his transcendence level. Now, Ichigo himself is a Heart Soripa with the Soripa and also Stun Rate Kill ability. Honestly, I really do like the killer combination here. Soripa in the Heart attribute has been something that we are lacking. Realistically, the only other good Heart Soripa killers that you are using is 6th Anniversary Aizen and also the new Halloween version of Noel. Both of those characters are not nearly as good as this Ichigo, and we've been desperately needing a powerful Heart Soripa killer, so I'm all for that. Stun Rate killer is whatever. I don't mind it because Soripa is the main killer. The Stun Rate is like a bonus one. Speaking of bonus, this character also comes with a second soul trait, so he's the second character to have this in the game. The first, of course, being 1000 Year Blood War Unohana. In this case, if you use him as a link, he is offering 20% strong attack damage and also 12% recharge. So he's a really powerful link, even though he's not a resurrectable character. Now, first up, when we have a look at his skills, let's look at his strong attack damage, because that's the big thing about this character, right? So for starters, he has Frenzy +2 with a 80% SP boost when you do inflict a stat ailment, and lucky for him, he has an increased chance to inflict stat ailments, and alongside that, he also then does 150% more damage to those inflicted enemies, 100% coming from these two skills, and remember, weakening itself does allow you to do 50% more damage. So when this character inflicts a stat ailment, he is doing a ridiculous amount of damage, especially when you consider his new third strong attack 3, which we have a lot to talk about in regards to that. Now, the way his increased chance does work is good and bad depending on how you look at it. Normally, when a character gets an increased chance to inflict stat ailment, it's to one affiliation or to one attribute. In this case, though, it's only to the affiliations. So he has an increased chance to inflict stat ailment only against Soripas and also Quincy's. And that's very noteworthy when it comes to Guild Quest content, more specifically Nightmare and, of course, Very Hard. In that game mode where you are going against 5 different enemies, all with each different attributes, but they are, of course, going to be Soripa and Quincy's. It means he's going to constantly inflict stat ailments and therefore constantly do significantly more damage. When you take this character into Inheritance Trials, which you are going to see today, it's good, but it doesn't seem as impressive because he doesn't have that increased chance to inflict stat ailments, because right now there are no Soripa and Quincy enemies. I feel like this character is a completely different character when he can inflict stat ailments consistently, aka when he does have killer. But yeah, you can see here damage output is not really going to be an issue. He also comes with some extra utility effects. Marauder, Hidden Enemies, Debilitator, has Bombardment +1, why not? Havoc, he's immune to every stat ailment, and he also, of course, does pick up Sprinter +2, Long Shot, and also Poise. So he has everything going in for him to be just a very solid and powerful character, one of the best in the entire game. Now, for the sake of this showcase, we are going to be using a Lieutenant's Badge, an artisanal tea set, and also a fortification pill, all with 30% extra SP. The links include 1000 Year Blood of Mayuri, 12% recharge, 60% full stamina, Mugetsu, 12% recharge, 20% SADs when we are at full stamina, and then, of course, also Senkaman Chad, 25% full stam, 12% recharge. Bonus abilities, just like Yuha, is full stam and also SP. With that said, let's jump into some content. Alright then, so first up, let's take him into single player IT. Usually a character like this, we are going to take it straight into comp, but given his strong attack kit, I feel like it warrants quickly demonstrating the character in single player content before it gets a lot hectic. So his SA1 is going to be a beam forward, but it does hit twice. There are 2 parts to the attack, but it is basically a 3000 length beam forward with some really good AoE to it. It's a very powerful strong attack 1. His SA2 is then a lunge forward with some really good AoE to it, so once more another good strong attack 2. And then it's SA3. It's a GETSUGA JUJISHO, one of the coolest looking attacks in the entire game, as you can see here. And it does have a second charge to it. This SA3 has some really high damage potential, especially when you do hold out the entire thing. But there are a few things you need to understand in regards to the SA3. First up, let's just tap it. You can do that with this character. You can just simply tap it. If for some reason you dislike the charge effect, you never have to use it, and I love that about the character. If you just want to use the character like a normal 1170 in front of him, one of the best strong attack 3s in the game, you can do that, and it packs a serious punch, especially with the range he does have. Now, alternative, what you can do is use the SA3, hold it down, and then let go. If you do that, it still does the second attack, and it still, as stated in the news, does more damage than a normal strong attack 3. Additionally, if you want to go the extra mile, you can hold down the button until it automatically finishes off the GETSUGA JUJISHO. So let's go ahead, use our SA1 here, then use our SA3, and then after like a second or two, it does let out the final attack. When it comes to easy content like this, you're rarely ever going to be able to get the second attack off, because most of the time they are going to, defeat the enemies with just the first phase. Now, there is another thing you need to keep in mind with this SA3, is that first phase, it can hit multiple ways and hit multiple times, but it's only going to ever hit one enemy once, and we somehow died. Great. But what I mean by that, if we take him into content like in Red Jobless Zone, just to quickly demonstrate the SA3, right? If we press it, you'll see here that it is hitting multiple waves, right? In this case, this one SA3 just cleared the entire room. If you do hit an enemy with that SA3 and they don't die, you're not going to hit them again. So that first phase can only hit one particular enemy once, but it can hit multiple times. So it is weird looking if you do use your SA3. You'll hit the enemy once, they'll get knocked back, and they won't get hit again until the second part. So let's once more go here. As you can see, hitting multiple waves. So the stronger you make this character, the better that SA3 technically is, because then it can go through multiple waves more consistently, right? But that's basically the character's gameplay in a nutshell. Now let's hop in some harder content like Co-op Inheritance Trials. Alright, so jumping into Co-op Inheritance Trials, then we can probably demonstrate the SA3 a tad bit better in this mode. Let's finish up with our Night String, and then what we're going to do here is use our SA3. As you can see, it only hit that wave once, but once we let out the second attack, we fully charged it. It does hit that wave again, and it did go into the next wave. Right now, this character can dish out a lot of damage, especially when you do inflict a status element, but again, he is reliant to a certain extent on inflicting status elements. This character, when you take him into Co-op IT once more when he has Killer, is gonna look like almost a completely different character, I will say. So what we're gonna do is here, go use our SA3. I want to weaken these enemies just a tad bit, if we possibly can, like that, and then use our SA3. So unfortunately, it didn't kill, but it is gonna nuke straight into the next wave. It's a really powerful SA3. I do like it. And again, I like the options here. You don't need to charge it if you don't want to. And thanks to the fact that the character's built in long stride, we can easily flash the out of it. You can actually stick it through, because he has poise. If he takes damage, he isn't going to stagger out of the SA3. But I wouldn't really risk it. Let's go here, use our SA2, then one down the middle. And can we go into the boss wave? Let's use our SA3 now. Yes, we can. Look at that. The bosses didn't even stand a chance. They really didn't. Now, in our case, we're doing significantly more damage to the bosses, given the fact that we do have Killer against them. So keep that in mind. The bosses are expected to go down with one strong attack. These hollow enemies, given the fact that we don't have Killer against them, and we are missing out like 60% extra damage, by default, UR was looking a lot more promising when it came to IT, given his Killer effects. But once more, let's go here, use our SA3. Does this go into the next wave? It did. It didn't one-shot the bosses, but it, I believe, did go through 2 waves there. It's fine, though. We can just finish up with one more strong attack. Attack from afar, SA3 takes them down, and now we're into the final stage, where the character does have bombardment. Now, my character is 5'5", so my soul is hitting a tad bit harder, so I don't want to use my soul just yet. Let's instead use our SA1, then SA3, and then nuke into the next wave. There we go. Unfortunately, Hachigun somehow was out of the AoE. Really cool looking soul bomb, and again, it's no surprise here, we did one-shot the final boss. With that said, though, we got a 2-minute play time for our very first run. We weren't going for the fastest play time, so let's go ahead and prove that. Alright then, so attempt number 2, let's see if we can get a faster run here. SA1 already inflicting a status element, you'd love to see it. Now, right now, I'm trying to figure out when's the best time to use this SA3. It's a different type of mechanic, it's the first time I've used it. I'm trying to figure out, is it just better for me to press the SA3 once, or do I really always want to charge it down every single time? If anything, it's worth charging it out and then letting go of it. In that case, it does do more damage than a normal SA3. I don't think every time you use that strong attack 3, you want to charge it down to the fullest and let off the GETSUGA JUJISHO. But I will say, it is fun when you do it. I love it when they add new mechanics that make sense. This SA3 makes sense. We all saw when it was Data Mined thinking it was GETSUGA JUJISHO. I didn't fully believe it at the start, but I'm glad it ended up being a GETSUGA JUJISHO. So let's go here, use our SA3. Once more, it didn't actually kill there, but it did do a lot of damage into the next wave. And remember, we are using a 1-5 character without Killer, so the fact that we are able to one-shot waves is quite impressive, especially when we don't even have the SP boost. But again, lucky for us, the SP boost is activating quite often, given the fact that our strong attack 1 and 2 works a tad bit different compared to the past strong attacks that are similar. Let's go ahead, charge it, just a tad bit and let it off. Not bad. SA1 down there, into the 2. Bosses go down. Again, I can't stress how quick the bosses go down. When you have Killer, this character is a completely different character. Into the next room, though. Let's use our SA3 there. Let it go. Don't need to fully charge it. Massive AoE in front of us. I think both attacks on 1170. Let's go here. SA1. Bosses are about to spawn in. Let's back up SA1 again. Into the 2. Into the 3. Let it go. Charge. There we go. And in this case, you're going to push back, then Soul Bomb. Again, no guarantee if a 1-5 Ichigo will nuke like this, but he does have bombardment. And the bosses should get one-shot regardless, so even at 1-5, he should still be capable of nuking the Phantom Room in this particular IT. In that case, a 2-minute run. Let's try and get faster, though. Alright, into our third and potential final run. Next run, we will try out the character in Epic Raids, see how he does perform against the Yuha Awakened Epic Raids. SA3 actually hit far back there. That was pretty cool. Let's back up, then use our SA1. Nice and easy. Let's go here, use our SA3. Might as well fully charge it, why not? The JUJISHO did end up nuking that wave. Let's go here, use our SA2. Finish up here with the SA1, then use our SA3. Okay, so I let it go there. I got nervous. I forget that the SA3 can still keep hitting the wave, right? So in that case, that's an example of where it's actually good because we actually nuked into the next wave with the first initial phase. But I let go. I let go. If we didn't let go, that SA3 would have killed them there. I got nervous because I thought they were going to attack me, but it did hit them and it would have knocked them down. I think you have to be a tad bit careful against bosses that have poise. But that's why you don't have to fully charge it. So again, let's go here, use our SA3, let go. Good amount of damage there. Back up into the 1. SA2 cancelled out of it by accident. Bosses have definitely gone down though. No doubt about it. Alright, it's back up. We don't want to use that SA3 just yet. I'm kind of saving it so I can get into like a good position to use it. Let's go here. SA3. Does this nuke or am I too far away? Not entirely, not entirely. I think I used it a tad bit too early. Alright, SA2 absolutely nuked. Taking them lot down with the SA1. And we are one spot into the final stage. Where again, all we have to do now is use our Soul Bomb. Real quick as we lunge in. There we go. And that gives us the SP boost too. We were guaranteed the Soul Bomb there. So when it comes to IT clear times, he's honestly not as fast as I thought he would be, I'll be honest. But again, that's mainly given to the fact that he wants to have killer. He really, really does. You look at on average a 2-minute clear time when the character doesn't have killer. When he does though, you're maybe looking at a 1 minute and 30 second, maybe shoot it down to 1 minute. Definitely not the fastest character out there when it comes to IT content. You know, Yuha, for example, that we did showcase earlier today, was able to get sub 1 minute, and that mainly came down from the fact that 1, he does have killer, but 2, Yuha also does get the extra Soul Bomb. So that's one thing that's really good about Yuha when compared to Ichigo. Ichigo's SA3 in this case was actually quite solid. Still definitely takes some learning here. It is the first day using it, but it is nice to get the option to either just tap it once or fully hold it down. In Guild Quest content, that's where this character really is going to shine. Unfortunately, I can't showcase him in Guild Quest right now, but we will definitely do that in the coming days because he will be usable in the upcoming Guild Quests. Personally, for me, he is a good character to take out in any content when he doesn't have killer, but I feel like he's really encouraged here to only be used when he has killer. I'm a bit conflicted on what would have been better, an increased chance against only Scorpions and Quincy's or just heart enemies. Obviously for IT, increased chance against just heart enemies is better, but of course in GQ, having it only against these killers is significantly better. A perfect scenario, having Disabler would have been a lot more impressive, and that's to anyone. But Caleb aren't just ready to give out Disabler just yet. But yeah, when I played this character in IT, the lack of a Disabler was definitely noticeable here. He was still able to get some consistent good times. Not crazy fast. So what this tells me is more so as a character I'll take out when he has killer. When he does, again, I feel like he's a completely different character. Alright, so next up, we're going to take him into the Awakened Epic Raid where he is going against Yuha. No killer effect here, and also another bonus. Keep that in mind. How quick can he do 50 million damage? Well, I don't think he can even beat this quest. He has a big problem in Epic Raids, which we will quickly demonstrate, and it mainly comes from the fact that he can inflict lacerate, unfortunately. I never knew this was a thing. I can't believe I didn't. But in terms of the accessories and links, we're using the exact same stuff. This time, though, of course, we have some familiars, giving us 60% Berserker and also 60% more damage at full stamina. So essentially, the problem here is that we can't inflict lacerate when the boss is attacking. So that makes it so his damage output when inflicting an SP boost is super inconsistent because we don't have that increased chance to inflict stat elements. If you ever go against an Epic Raid, it's fine. Let's quickly use our SA2 there, or SA3. But the only time we get to inflict the SP boost is when we attack, when the boss isn't attacking, like right now, for example. And we're only going to be able to ever get really like one attack in while that is happening. In this case, though, let's use our SA3. Let it fully go off. There we go. It's like right now, again, we have no chance of inflicting a star summon, and that kind of slows down the run by quite a bit, to be fair. Unless we get super lucky. Like right now, we have no chance of inflicting star summons. This only affects those that can inflict lacerate and also paralysis. And even though he... Oh, let me just quickly double activate the SA3 there. Again, example that I started charging it, but I let it go early, and we still did more damage. It's that the first phase like this, and when you let it off early is a distant AoE, but the actual full screen, like final GETSUGA JUJISHO, is an AoE around you. So you actually want to kind of position yourself in the middle of attacks. But you can see here, right, like we're not inflicting status ailments. We're really not. It's really noticeable with this character because he doesn't have an increased chance to inflict status ailments right now. Like we only get a chance to inflict it now, but we can only get so many attacks in during that downtime. And that slows us down so much. Wasted my SA3 there. So I don't think we can even solo this epic raid as opposed to Yuha, who did it in under 1 minute. But again, you had the advantage here of being able to inflict status ailments. Getting consistently the SP boost, we just can't get it. We just can't get it. The lacerate is really hurting us here. Let's go use the SA3. Again, we can't inflict the SP boost. We're going to die. This phase does feature a lock attack, so we're pretty much guaranteed to get attacked sooner or later. Can we get an SP boost before it wears off? No, it doesn't like it. So yeah, Ichigo's not that good in epic raids. Honestly, he's really not. Maybe he still is. It just comes to when you're doing a single player run. Like, if we're trying to do a solo run like this, it just doesn't work. Who's actually doing solo runs in epic raids? Not everyone. I like to showcase the strength, though, and see how fast they can clear it, but Ichigo pretty much can't solo the epic raid. And unfortunately, it mainly comes down to the lacerate. Due to him having lacerate, we can't inflict a status ailment when the boss is attacking, and that means his output, his damage output, at least in epic raids, is super inconsistent. When the boss is a Quincy or a Sorpa, he'll be perfectly fine, because at that point in time, even though you can only inflict the status ailment during the downtime, that increased shot makes a massive difference. It's the same reason why White, 8th anniversary White, is I never noticed with him, because he does have the increased chance. So whenever you have that downtime, all you got to do is one string attack, and that's probably enough for your SA3 to come back. So he's a character that is good in epic raids when you have a full lobby of 6 Ichigos or just a bunch of other players in your lobby. But when it comes to trying to do epic raids by yourself, you'll notice a quite big damage inconsistency. And that mainly again comes from the fact you can't inflict lacerate when the boss is attacking. Really unfortunate, but that's just how it is, I guess. With that said though, lads, that was the video for today, trying out the new true Shikai Ichigo, already one of my favorite characters in the game. I will preface at the end, I guess for those that made it to the end, this probably wasn't like the best demonstration of the character, but ultimately you can't best demonstrate the character as of right now. I think the character's great set of visuals, great set of strong attacks, and I really do like the SA3, especially given the fact that you can use it in different types of ways, right? Do you want to charge it all the way? If you do, you can do that and you get a massive damage output. If you don't, you can just charge it for like half a second and still get more damage than a normal SA3. And at the same time, if you don't want to charge it, you can just tap it once. I do like the SA3. I do want to see the SA3 on more characters. How would that work on other characters? I'm not too sure, but I'm looking forward to that potential chance. What I gathered today while playing with this character is that he really does want to have Killer. Without Killer, he's still good, but as I've already mentioned, he's a completely different character when he does have Killer. Lucky for him, he does have 2 killers, and we are going to try the character in Limit Breaker and also Guild Quest where he does have Killer. That will be happening this upcoming week, so make sure to subscribe for that. And in those type of content, when he does have Killer, he's going to look a lot more ideal. When compared to Yua, a character we showcased earlier today, Yua was a tad bit more impressive for me, but that also is a tad bit unfair because Yuha did have Killer in IT and also in epic raids. So naturally, he kind of had the advantage. But I still think Ichigo's a very, very powerful character. I'm happy to have him 5-5, and again, we will be doing some more showcases in the coming weeks. Try him out in different game modes, try him out in Arena, and we're even going to try him out at Max Transcendence. So make sure to subscribe for that. In the comments below, let me know what you think about his character. I'm curious to know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, and peace.